Shut up and sit down.
Hi everybody, it's Julian and welcome to Off Shift. And today I'm happy to be joined by Constable Liv Vors from the Edmonton Police Service. Liv, how are you today?
I'm good, Julian. Thanks so much for having me. Staying warm.
Yeah, good. So you're up in Edmonton. Tell the viewers what Edmonton's like if they've never been to Edmonton.
Well, wow. I've lived here since 2006. I'm originally from Saskatchewan. It's kind of a stereotypical northern town. In some ways, it's kind of rough and tumble. The weather's wild. Has lots of suburbs. It kind of has an old downtown that people are trying to resurrect.
So what was it that originally brought you to Edmonton?
I actually came here to go to grad school at the U of A. I was a wildlife biologist once upon a time.
So you've had a couple of different jobs then.
I've had a bit of a peripatetic life, I guess. I bounced around between Saskatchewan, Southern Ontario, and Edmonton to collect a few university degrees. I got to spend some time in the Arctic chasing caribou, which was pretty cool. In between that, I discovered that you could write about things that you eat, which I didn't know was a thing growing up, and had kind of a side gig as a food writer. But all of that kind of came to a head in 2015, 2016, when I realized I couldn't really make a sustainable living doing any of those things. So it was a bit of a sobering moment, I guess.
And so in 2015, 2016, what happened then?
Well, in 2015, I got the bright idea that I was going to apply to be a police officer. It was an idea that had been percolating around in the back of my head since I was in my early teens, because my best friend's father was an RCMP officer in the small town I grew up in. And I thought it was really, really cool. Mm-hmm. I didn't really know what he did. And it always kind of stuck with me. It made a very big impression on me, though I think at the time I didn't realize that. And I didn't think that people like me, who were sort of nerdy into art or science or the outdoors and weren't cool and athletic, rippled with muscles, I didn't really think that people like me were cops, because I didn't see anybody that was like me in that role.
You got into policing, and when did you start your career?
I ended up getting hired in early 2017 and started my basic training in July of that year.
Okay. And
so I guess I'm coming up on my 4th year this summer.
Nice. And you're in patrol right now, or are you in a section of some sort?
I am in patrol, and in a couple of weeks, I'm transferring over to the Major Collisions Unit, which I'm really excited about. It's lots of math and science, and I'm pretty excited for that.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I was actually just having a conversation yesterday with somebody, and I was telling them about the fact that we actually do use math in policing. And it's not difficult math most of the time, but we do have to remember the things that we learned in grade 8.
Oh, tell me about it. When I had to do the entrance exam to apply, I don't think I'd done long division by hand since I was maybe in junior high, and I couldn't remember how to do it at all. I actually had to ask my dad, who's a retired teacher, to remind me how long division works without a calculator.
So you were a food critic for a little while, and I have some photos that I'm going to pop up of some of, yes. Tell me one maybe story or memory that maybe sticks out for you.
Oh, wow. Where do I even begin? Well, a very silly one pops to mind. I used to make reservations under an alias, because I have kind of a unusual first and last name. It's not Jennifer Smith, so it kind of sticks out. So I used to use a pretend name when I was making reservations, but I didn't use the same one consistently. And I was going to go to a really cool Japanese, I don't want to say tapas bar because it's not tapas, but kind of small plates, Japanese style, an izakaya.
Okay.
Which is like a Japanese bar where you eat small plates and drink sake, and everyone yells hello in Japanese when you come through the door. It's great. I was so excited to review this place called Izakaya Tomo.
Okay.
Tomo means friend in Japanese. So I was stoked. I was excited. I had invited a couple of friends with me. And when I got to the door, I couldn't remember what name I made the reservation under. I'd completely forgotten, and my friends were very understanding. I didn't even leave my phone number. I didn't have the wherewithal to think of that. And we ended up waiting close to 2 hours in the foyer for a table to open up. It was worth it, but yeah, I didn't do that again.
So how many names did you actually have?
Oh, I don't know. I think it was different every time. But I should have had just an alter ego name. That would have been smarter, but I don't know what I was thinking. If I was trying to be elusive or creative or something to that effect.
Right. So you transitioned from, all of that into policing. You're now working on patrol. You're going into a different section, but that is not your life. Policing is not who Liv is. So tell me, what do you do when you're not in uniform?
Well, I draw, and I can't wait to get home and draw most days if I don't go home and go straight to bed, and that does happen too.
Yeah.
But since I was old enough to hold a crayon, I've just loved to draw, and it's very much a part of who I am, and I don't think I could imagine being alive without having that as a creative outlet. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my job. It's different every day. I'm never bored, but I don't want that to be the only thing that I am. I mean, to me, having other things that are your passion, that you're excited to do, that you can't wait to get up and do, that's just as important.
Right. Where do you find the passion, or where do you find the inspiration, I guess, to draw?
Oh, all around me. So I'm working on an idea today, and I'll give you a little sneak peek here.
Nice.
The guy in the gray hoodie is a recurring character named Carrie. My cousin Clayton named him.
Okay.
Who's a criminal who's not very bright because he does a lot of math.
Okay. I like where this is going.
So this is a true story. I was not at this event, but somebody related to me at work where a fellow broke into a liquor store, stuck his head through, and then got his head stuck in the bars.
Oh no.
And had to be rescued by the fire department and then ultimately arrested.
Can't make this stuff up, really.
No, there's a lot of, oh gosh, personal anecdotes that are in my work. Everybody is pretty much based on a real character. Like the female cop with the short hair is definitely me, although my hair is a lot longer now because I kind of gave up on haircuts after COVID started.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much humor in everything. I mean, we deal with a lot of dark stuff, but that's generally not what I write about because that's not what I want to focus on. There's so much that's so zany and so out there and so unbelievably ridiculous that I really couldn't make it up if I tried.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny, I've followed you for a little while now, and I actually look forward to seeing your posts and some of the art that you're posting up on Instagram and on Facebook. And for me, I can actually relate to it, both being a former paramedic and now as a police officer. Have you had any negative feedback?
No, actually, I've never had hate mail. I've never had kind of offside comments. I mean, I stay out of politics. It's not my thing. I don't want to go there at all. I want to look at what's funny and what's positive and kind of makes people laugh and see something that isn't, I guess, like the way TV depicts cop shows. Like, it's not all door kicking and screaming and going around like this, because nobody does that.
If people want to follow you, how can they do that?
I post on Instagram, and the handle is Thin Blue Scribble, all one word. That's pretty much my only outlet right now.
Fair enough, and I'll post a link down in the bio here. So, okay, everybody can follow you on Instagram. That's awesome, and I would encourage everybody to follow Liv on Instagram, and that's at Thin Blue Scribble. And you're gonna find this stuff hilarious. Really, I don't think it really matters whether you're a police officer, firefighter, paramedic, or if you're in the first responder world at all. I think you'll find humor in this. It's actually quite good. So, okay, a couple of just very quick questions for you. Just, of course. First thing that comes to mind: favorite movie?
A Fish Called Wanda.
Oh, wow! I haven't heard that one for a long time.
All time. Oh my gosh! Followed by Coming to America.
Best meal that you have cooked?
Oh, the best meal that I ever cooked was probably the simplest meal I ever cooked. And it was on a wood fire on the shores of Waskesiu Lake in northern Saskatchewan, which is where I've camped every summer of my childhood since I was about 9 with my dad. And it was just fillets of northern pike, breaded in crushed up Breton cracker crumbs and a bit of garlic salt, fried in butter on a cast iron pan. And it was, as the sun was going down and the lake was calm, and it was a beautiful summer's night. And it was perfect every way. It was so beautiful.
Okay, best meal you've had out?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I've had some good meals. Here in Edmonton, let me think. Oh, I'm drawing a blank. There's so many.
Okay, that's all right.
I can't think of an answer.
Okay, there's a lot of good restaurants in Edmonton.
There's a lot of good restaurants. Corso 32, an Italian place downtown. Rostizzato, it's a Mexican rotisserie. Those are two of my ultimate favorites. I've never had a bad meal at either of them.
Good. When COVID is done and we can travel again, favorite travel destination?
Oh. If I'm driving, well, I'm going back to Saskatchewan. If I'm flying, I would love to go back to Norway. I haven't been there since I was about 21.
And what was it about Norway that drew you there?
Beautiful. It's rugged. It's not very crowded. It's very rural, lots of mountains, lakes. It's like a fairy tale land come to life. There's little waterfalls and twisty pine trees and snow-capped mountains. Like, you just expect some kind of mythical creature to come traipsing out of the woods or something. It's so beautiful. If I didn't live in Canada, that's where I'd live.
Right. And I really think that Liv is actually describing the west coast of British Columbia. So it's not really Norway that she's talking about. But do you have a favorite sports team?
I don't really follow sports all that closely, but because I'm from Saskatchewan, I have to say the Rough Riders.
Okay,
Rider
fair.
Pride.
Yeah,
all day,
fair.
till the day I die.
That's fair. Last question, best part of policing?
Oh man, I'd say my co-workers. I have some awesome co-workers. I have a really good boss. My work partner is probably my best friend. I've worked with some phenomenal people, and to have them as role models, to learn from them, to get to be around them, and the laughs we have, like the stuff that we see that we really can't make up. And then when we go through crappy things, we can lean on each other too. Like, I've been so humbled to be working with these people.
Yeah, that's pretty, police officers, the people that you work with are pretty amazing.
They are.
You know, I probably have to agree with you on it. It's really about the people that make up your squads or your teams. You know what? Those are the ones that keep you coming back to work, because any job is a job, right? Anything pays the bills. But if you don't have a passion for what you're doing and you don't enjoy the people that you're working with, you're not going to want to be there.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah. So thank you very much. I really appreciate you being on here. And don't forget to follow Thin Blue Scribble. And again, I'm going to add a link down below. And yeah, give Liv a follow, and you're gonna love what she's got out there. All right. So thank you very much, and we'll see you on another episode of Off Shift.